If you think that the Sony PlayStation and the Sega Genesis have the market cornered for aftermarket controllers, then you just haven't looked at the amount of controllers available for the Atari 2600. Because the Atari 2600 joystick left a lot of room for improvement. Now, some people really like this joystick. It's very simple. It's got one button, and they tried to replicate an arcade-style joystick by giving it a real joystick that you can grip with your hand and use your thumb for the button. It's got little rubber feet on the bottom, but the thing is so small and so light that it's really top-heavy, and the controller cord is way too small to begin with. So you put it down, and in my opinion, just wobbles all over the place. I don't care for it. So whenever I play Atari 2600, I use a Sega Genesis controller, but the Sega Genesis wasn't around in the early 80s. So there's numerous aftermarket controllers to choose from, including this one, the Starfighter, the ultimate joystick. What makes this the ultimate joystick? I have no idea. If we look on the underside, you can see that this is from Suncom. There's the logo, the Starfighter Ultimate Joystick, which is very similar in most respects to the standard Atari 2600 joystick. It's a bit smaller, as you can see. Has a smaller joystick, a smaller button. It does look nice. It's a very nice looking controller, and they give you more cord as well. These have notoriously short cords. It's a stiff joystick, very similar to the original one. Not a whole lot of movement there, as you can see. And perhaps that's really what they were going for. Maybe for adult hands, you could use your thumb if you were a kid back in the day, or if you're a kid now or have small hands. Maybe you'd like this. I get the impression that this was made for spaceship-themed video games, games like Galaxian, River Raid, not a spaceship game, but flies like one. Planet Patrol. So you could fly your spaceship around the screen and shoot things with the Starfighter Ultimate joystick rather than the standard Atari 2600 joystick. Did I mention that it looks nice? What else can I say? Well, it has a textured plastic surface here on the side, as you can see. It's got a nice little metallic, stylized thing here on the top. Directional lines. Patent is pending. It's made in the USA. Well, you don't see that very often anymore. The plugs are pretty much the same, as you can see here. The standard Atari 2600 controller says Atari. The Starfighter Ultimate joystick has the Suncom logo on there, which can also act as a grip to pull it out of the Atari 2600. There's the Atari 2600 Junior, and you can see that the Starfighter joystick is plugged into the back of this, and I've gone the entire review and haven't made a single Last Starfighter reference. So I'm going to now. My theory is that since this is actually very similar to the Atari 2600 controller, there's really no reason to actually get one of these instead of a standard 2600 controller, unless you want to be selected to fly an actual starfighter in a real space battle against aliens. It just occurred to me that the last Starfighter movie was released in 1984. This controller, the Starfighter, might predate the movie, which means that the movie could be based on this controller. This controller could be like the arcade machine in the last Starfighter, which means since I just set a high score on Planet Patrol this morning... Uh-oh. Oh man, that's weird. Hang on, something's going on outside. I gotta go. I'll be back. Hang on.